Hi everybody, good morning. My name is Mandy Crown and welcome to my weekly moment of reflection. And this week I'm talking about talent and hard work. And I started doing these tips about 4.5 years ago. My father had died. I was really quite a bad place that year, so I was very, very close to him. And I would just see a picture or a quote or something, just maybe a bit of a step back, but I realised actually I'm very, very lucky in my life and compared to an awful lot of people. And it just made me appreciate actually what I have. And I started putting out emails more really to help myself actually than anybody else. But actually, often people said, oh, that's really great. That's really helped me this week. And so the emails are developed into live videos. And so here we are this week. So I really hope you like it and you find it helpful. Please like and share as we go through. And most importantly, if there's somebody you can think of who this tip would really help, then please forward it to them. Because that's what this is about, is helping people get to a better place in their lives. Just making them have a little bit of a step back and see things with slightly different eyes. Because far too often we get stuck in a rut. And if you're stuck in a rut, things will never change. So there's always a quote that goes with the moment of reflection. And this week it is, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And it's really interesting. There's three types of people in the world. There are those who have talent, there are those who work hard, and there are those who have talent and work hard. So I want to talk about each of those three categories because they're all quite different. And the first one is those who have talent and work hard. Well, they are the true geniuses in this world. They are the ones who are renowned through the ages. And there's very, very few of them, actually. I'm thinking of people like Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, Einstein, people like that, who dedicated their lives to improving their talent and making it better and better and better and worked incredibly hard, incredibly long hours. And therefore, they are known and they're remembered for generation after generation. But it tends to be in the arts and music, perhaps in the science a bit. It tends to be much more creative type industries because that's where true talent sort of emerges. But they are actually very few and far between. If you think of the really famous names who are talented, actually they're very few and far between. The second category is those who have talent. And there's an awful lot of people who have talent. I want to tell you a very interesting story that happened actually quite recent to me. I was talking to this lady, she was in her 70s, and we were talking about school actually. I'm not remember how the conversation started, but he said, do you know what, Mandy? I really regret that school was easy. I found it easy. I was a straight A student. I cruised through school, a bit of squatting the night before, so 90% in every test, cruised all the way through O-levels, got to A-levels, and suddenly it got hard. And I quit because I thought I was a failure. And at 17, I gave up my A-levels, went and got married, had children, and I've done nothing else in my life ever since. And I'm now in my 70s. I think she was 77. I said, I really, really regret that I didn't have to work hard at school because as soon as it got hard, I gave up. And we sort of carried on this conversation. I thought, yeah, isn't that sad? Really, really sad. And the reality is that school is a very false construct because you're always striving to get 100%. And if you're not getting 100%, you're seen as a bit of a failure. But true life isn't like that. Once you leave school and go into the real world, if you're getting 30%, then probably you're doing extremely well. A lot of industries, it's way, way lower than that. So to then regard yourself as a failure at 17 because you actually had to work hard, I think is really sad. But I suspect there's an awful lot more people who fall into that category than we can think of. But the reality is, who can you think of who has talent, who didn't work hard, who's famous? And the reality is I couldn't think of anybody because they still had to work hard to be famous. And so there must be an awful lot of wasted talent out there that's just wasted. And how sad to get to the end of your life and think, actually, I could have done so much more in my life if I'd done things differently. So the third category of person I want to talk about are those who work hard. And like every child at school, my children used to say, oh, I wish I was top of the class. And I used to say, actually, do you know what? I'm very glad you're not top of the class. I don't want you to be at the bottom. I want you to be about the top 5. But if you're in the top 5, you're close enough to the top to know that you can make it if you work that bit harder. You've got something to aspire to. And I used to say to them, they used to hate me for this, I used to say, the problem with being at the top is only one way, and that's down. But as they've now got older, and they're now both adults, they've actually started to appreciate what I meant. Because being used to working hard from a very early age, one of my daughters is dyslexic, she's always had to work harder than everybody else. But it set her up really, really well for the future. She has that discipline of having to work hard. She knows she has to work hard, so she gets on and does it. Whereas a lot of other people just put things off. So being used to working hard, I think, is really important for life. And the interesting thing here also is that most of the successful people in business are those who worked extremely hard. There's an awful lot of people in business who are very, very successful, very, very wealthy, who worked very hard all their lives. But they probably came out of school at 15 because they weren't considered to be bright enough. They probably started their own business and started their own earning at the age of 14, 15, doing something on the side, cleaning cars or windows, whatever it might have been, and they worked incredibly hard. So somebody like Richard Branson springs to mind. He started writing magazines for students at the age of about 15. And look where he is now. People like Henry Ford and great names like that. So normally people who are successful in business are the ones who've worked hard, not because they had talent. So that's really interesting, isn't it? Because if you were somebody in the first category, you're talented and you work hard, absolutely fantastic, and I really look forward to seeing you being famous in the future. If you're in the second category, why are you wasting your talent? And that's, I think, the area that we need to look at most. If you're in the third category, you're in a great place already because you're used to working hard and you'll keep on doing so. So I really love to see all of you be really successful in the future. But have a think about which category you're in. And if you have any stories, personal stories about when, in any of those categories where you've learned a lesson about either talent or hard work, or one has paid off more than the other, I'd love to hear them. Just write them in the comments below, and I'm sure everybody else will really appreciate them. So that's my moment of reflection for this week. If we haven't yet met yet, my name is Mandy Cran, and people come to me when they realise they need to make changes in their life if they want to have better health and quality family time in the years ahead. If that connects with you, then we can talk and I'll see if I can help you any further. Just get in touch on Facebook, and then we can have a longer chat. So next week, we're going to be talking about forgiveness. So I'll be here live on Facebook at 10 o'clock next Friday. And in the meantime, have a fabulous week.